Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Maya Schoenbach, and I am a clinical psychologist in training, and I work here at Helping Minds in TrichStop and also with Skin Pick. And today I'm going to be explaining a little bit about our program, about TrichStop, and how it works. The webinar will take around 15 to 20 minutes. I really encourage you to ask questions, type them in the chat, and then I'll answer them at the end. We'll do a brief Q&A once the presentation is over. And I really encourage you to stick around until the end. There will be a promo code at the end of the presentation so that you'll get a discount when you subscribe to our program. So let's get started. So really, first I want to talk about the program structure. So this really talks about the overarching structure of the program. So first of all, the program is fully customized. It's an online platform that teaches about hair pulling and about various evidence-based techniques that are used in order to cope with hair pulling. Again, I also want to say the pace of the program is also customizable. So the length is really different for every person, since each person's lived experience is so different. So the causes and the meaning of hair pulling for every person is highly individual, and therefore we tailor the program and its length according to each person's individual needs. An important aspect of the program is the regular communication that you have with your therapist. And really, through that communication, your therapist will adjust and customize the program according to your specific needs. Also, we provide virtual support groups through our program that are led by really skilled therapists, and these allow you to engage with a community of individuals that are facing similar challenges. So here you can share your experiences, you can gain support, and you can offer encouragement to one another. And these support groups, they occur several times throughout the month and at different times of the day so that people all over the world can join. And we really encourage our members to join these support groups because it's an extra resource and a great way to gain extra support. And then in terms of our program, we really have two different types. We have a personal program for people aged 15 and older. And then we also have a parent program for those aged 14 and under, and it really is geared towards the parents of the children. And so the parent program includes a lot of age-appropriate modifications to all of the techniques, as well as suggestions on ways that you can better communicate with your child who is struggling with hair pulling disorder. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about our session structure. So this really is the main structure of every single session that you'll see in our program. So first, we start out with the content of the session. So it involves learning all about hair pulling, all about how to be aware of your symptoms, of your setting, of your triggers, and a lot of really important information about the disorder itself. Next, throughout the session, you'll have various exercises to do. So these involve practicing various techniques that are taught in the program, and often they use our specialized tools. So for example, to use practice breathing techniques, to do self-monitoring. And the exercises, they also include answering different questions throughout the session that help you process and really reflect on the session material. And then what's important about this is that your therapist, they will review your answers and then they'll respond to you about your answers. And then this provides really a jump off point for correspondence with your therapist. And then for assignments, each week you'll be given assignments that these really are practical tools for you to practice in order to really deepen your insights and to create meaningful change. And I want to stress that assignments are twofold. So first, there are those that are predefined in the sessions, but then you'll also get additional ones that are customized to your unique needs that your therapist will deem as appropriate. And again, I want to stress that if you have any specific requests really don't hesitate to ask your therapist, because our therapists are flexible and they're here to help you on your individual journey. And finally, I really want to emphasize here in this part that taken together, this can be a very intense program, and people have a tendency to want to rush through it, get through it as quickly as possible. But in doing so, you don't have enough time to really try out all the different techniques, digest the information, give the assignments the time they require. And in doing so, and taking the time to go through our program, that's how you make meaningful and long-lasting change. And that's really what we're aiming to do here at TrichStop. So something important here at TrichStop is that we don't employ therapists that don't know how to treat body-focused repetitive behaviors, and specifically hair pulling disorder. So every therapist not only has the knowledge, but they also have the prior experience. And so we really insist on them having the experience, because this is such a specialized program. It's very specific. And so that's why it's so important that we have therapists with their expertise. I want to emphasize that communication with your therapist is done in writing, and therapists typically respond within 24 hours during the weekday. And the communication is done by messenger and through emails, and you'll get notifications. And it can be very helpful, actually, this online communication, because you can then reread the conversation and you don't have to worry about forgetting what was said. So some clients have even taken screenshots of certain key conversations and even set it as their wallpaper on their phone, so that they'll have constant reminders about the therapy. And again, I want to say that your therapist helps you customize the program to suit your specific needs. So if you want to explore some ideas or theories, it's important to communicate that with your therapist, because our therapists are really flexible and open usually. And again, so every therapist here has mastered all of the CBT evidence-based techniques that we use in the program. But every therapist brings something special to the table. So they all come with different backgrounds, different experiences. So some, for example, who have a background maybe in psychoanalysis, that may influence their approach, and it may enrich your program using specific techniques according to each individual therapist. So like I said, we use evidence-based techniques in our program, because that really gives us a program that works well for most people. But again, we're willing to explore more than these techniques if a specific client wants to explore them. So the first part of the program is based on habit reversal training, or HRT. The second part of the program is based on acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT. And I'll talk a little bit more about these types of therapy in the next few minutes. But if you want to find out more about HRT and about ACT, we really have dedicated webinars about these types of therapy that you can find on our YouTube page. So keep that in mind if you feel like you need some more knowledge in these areas. So again, like I said, HRT is the first treatment that we use in our program. And it was the first treatment that was explicitly designed for BFRBs, or for body-focused repetitive behaviors. It's the recommended first line of treatment, and it's really the most studied modality currently. So HRT, it's a behavioral form of therapy, and it's designed to address a wide variety of repetitive behaviors. So including hair pulling, of course, but also skin picking, nail biting, thumb sucking, tics, and it's tailored to each one. And really the key elements that HRT is based upon is first about building awareness of the pulling, and then identifying the triggers, and then ultimately finding replacement habits for the pulling behaviors. And studies show us that it really works in reducing the behavior itself, but just as a mere behavioral treatment, it really is only the start of your journey. So again, like I said, building awareness is the key part. And often people want to try and skip it, but we really encourage people to work on building the awareness so that they know how to curb their instincts and their urges to hair pull in advance. And then in that way, they can create long-lasting change. So next I'll talk about ACT. So acceptance and commitment therapy. It was developed by Stephen Hayes in 1982. And it's a form of third wave CBT, and it emphasizes acceptance, values, and mindfulness. So in HRT, you learn how to deal with the behavior. And then here, you'll basically learn how to deal with your urges, all the difficult emotions that sometimes lead to pulling. And yeah, it's really influenced by practical ideas, practical tools that you can use. And ACT can be considered kind of a step up, or the next stage where you can go up in the chain of treatment. So a core concept of ACT is experiential avoidance. Now, experiential avoidance is kind of like a defense mechanism. So it's the idea that there's a group of behaviors that include BFRBs, or body focused repetitive behaviors, that help us cope with intense experiences by channeling the energy of an emotion into pulling. So instead of actually reflecting on the emotion or processing it, you pull. So experiential avoidance, it's really best seen when people say they're feeling perfectly calm, but they are still pulling. So this really shows that it's an effective strategy because you're feeling calm, but it's an unhealthy strategy because at the end of the day, you're not processing the emotion. So essentially, experiential avoidance and hair pulling is kind of seen as a way of coping, but not processing difficult internal experiences. So really through ACT, we teach our clients how to relate to their emotional experiences in a healthier way. So once you complete the core treatment elements of the program, your therapist may assign you additional sessions in order to continue to explore those aspects of hair pulling that are specifically relevant to you. So this will allow you to go deeper and to further explore the causes of hair pulling, as well as to develop more advanced coping strategies. So here, depending on your individual needs and also what your therapist thinks is most beneficial for you, you'll learn additional techniques. So for example, more advanced meditation techniques and emotion regulation techniques, and work on boundary setting and various other important aspects. So I'm sure you're interested whether or not this program works. So I'm happy to say that within 3 weeks, 73% of our clients experience symptom reduction. Within 3 months, clients experience a 41% reduction in symptom intensity, and 93% of clients who finished the main modules of the program recommended it to other users. So again, it's important for me to say that this is not based on all of our clients, but those who have completed the program. So it's important for me to say that this is a subscription-based program. So it's $260 every 4 weeks. And your subscription, it renews until you cancel. So even though you might think, wow, this seems high, when you compare it with traditional therapy is typically on average about $600 per month. And this is only $260 per month. So it's really the price that's less than the average price of 2 traditional sessions. And in our program, you can have daily communication with your therapist as opposed to weekly. And your therapist is someone who specifically knows how to deal with this problem, which is very hard to find. Not that many therapists have expertise in hair pulling disorder. And I want to mention here, there's a $100 discount for the first month of subscription if you use the promo code PROWEB100. And I'll show it again at the end of our of our presentation today. So don't worry. So in addition to our subscription program, we also have free resources, both for subscribers and for non-subscribers. So we really encourage everyone to use them. So first of all, we have a new free app that provides education, self-assessment, and self-monitoring. So in terms of education, it allows you to gain an initial understanding of hair pulling, about its causes, its triggers, and its associated conditions. And it also tells you about the physical and emotional impact of hair pulling. Here you can also learn about some evidence-based treatment strategies and really the first steps that you can take towards healing that you can do on your own. You can also begin your journey using a self-assessment. And this is a really good thing to do in order to help you understand the severity of your hair pulling and serve kind of as a baseline measure in order to measure your progress going forward. And then if you choose to subscribe to the full program, we'll use this to tailor your treatment plan accordingly. You can then monitor your hair pulling episodes and duration and its intensity over time using our self-monitoring tool. So really, whenever you feel the urge or have an episode, you simply take out your phone and make a new entry. And then over time, you'll become more aware of your individual pulling patterns. And this really is a crucial element in overcoming a hair pulling disorder. So collecting this type of data and then discussing it, if you collect this type of data, you can then discuss it with your therapist if you choose to subscribe to our program. Additionally, I want to talk about our monthly webinars. So we provide free monthly webinars. Sometimes I give them. I'll be giving one next week. And they're for people who participate all over the world. And it's exciting because sometimes people who participate live get to vote for the topic. So you can actually get to determine the content. And then finally, I want to encourage you to join our TrichStop group. Sorry, this is skinpick.com, but it's actually our TrichStop.com Facebook group. And it really is a great opportunity for community and for comprehensive, it's really a comprehensive center for information and for treatment options. So again, TrichStop.com Facebook group. So first of all, I want to thank you all for attending. And if you have any questions, please write them in the chat and I'll answer them. And if you have any more clinical questions or private questions, you can ask me by email at maya@helpingminds.com. And if you have any more technical questions about our program, about subscription, the app, you can email us at support@trichstop.com. And then again, here's our promo code for a $100 discount for the first month. So again, thank you all for attending.